the anniversary of October 7th, the student unions across London have decided to do a march out. Now, for me, it just seems like a bunch of temper tantrums, you know, toys being chucked out of the pram because they're not the centre of attention today. I mean, you could have perfectly took another day out your calendar and decided to protest then, but you decided out of all days to decide to protest, you're doing it today. Of course, it's on the anniversary of a terrorist attack a few days before that. That was a Manchester terrorist attack on a synagogue, and it's also close to the anniversary of the Battle of Cable Street. So if they're not the ones receiving the attention, they have to cry about it.
No, come on, that's next.
Apartheid in the colonization of Palestine. 32 million pounds, and that's not to speak about LSE, about SOAS, and all the other universities that are still not divested from their profiting of this genocide. We have negotiated with them, we have spoken to them, we have done everything that we could. We submitted a report to their financial committee, exactly as they said that we should do, only for them to reject us time and time again. They have no interest in human rights, even though they say they do. They have no interest in stopping this genocide, and so we need to force them. They won't be convinced by words, we can only do it by actions, and we need to ramp it up now, because it's been 2 years.
Before I give it to Harry, I was going to give us a quick brief. I want to call out 3 people: Malcolm Ace, Baron Willis, and Shitich Kapoor. I want all of them see this message and see how many students we have here, and then say that the King's community does not believe that KTO should divest its funds from genocide. I want them to see how many people are here, see where the
Bunch of masked thugs really on the right. If we were to do this, they'd section off the area and immediately make it apparent that we're thuggish for doing so.
Shut it down! 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 Shut it
down! Compared two sides, the Israeli side encompass compared to the Palestinian side. Now, you've completely frozen down any degree of education. There is nothing going on right now. There's walkouts, no one's learning anything, and people are still paying for their education. Compared to the Israelis, they're a quiet, integrated community that don't do anything. No, I just said that if you're in coalition with a bunch of liberals, it doesn't work for socially conservative Muslims. Yeah, you're a socially conservative Muslim. Yes, you are. I guarantee you don't like transgenderism. Free the hostages! Brave man right there.
Your hands are bloody too! Your hands are bloody too!
Well, I don't think you can hear anything, but right now, right behind me is a bunch of shouting, brainless people, including the woman right next to me. Got anything to say? Hello. At least she's nice about it. She was sweating me off a few minutes ago. But hey, look, organisations like your party are kind of a demonstration why these organisations never work. A bunch of socially conservative Muslims who hate sodomites, people who dress up as women. Peace sign right there. Yeah. And they ally themselves with a bunch of like hippie liberals who completely disagree with them, but they're anti-establishment, so they won't import these people. Oh, come on, surely you can't be calling for an intifada. Surely. How long would you live under a Sharia state? Not very long. No, you wouldn't. I don't think you'd even be able to sustain your diet as it is. Most of the like multicolored friends over here, like them over there, they wouldn't be able to survive under it. There's kernels for KFC. A lot of people wouldn't like an intifada if that actually happened. That's all I'm saying.
Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free Palestine!
this like sort of revolution actually happen. Now, first thing is that none of these people actually have a backbone. I've seen like the police kettle in these protesters, then they immediately comply and disperse because they want to go home. So call them revolutionaries, and you're calling a child like, I don't know, someone who's actually able to do like full-time work. It's like immature protesting. Doesn't make any sense. Most of these individuals don't actually know what a revolution or resistance actually looks like, and that's why a lot of people aren't sympathetic towards their cause. Have school to go to, including myself, but if this is what everything looks like, I'm not going to school anymore, because this is crazy. Hello, my friend. Would you care for an interview? The man with the very nice female-looking sunglasses. Oh, sorry, mate. How many people in masks? That's one. That's another. That's another. That's another. That's another woman in a mask. That could be a man or a woman, I don't know yet. Mask. 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 He's not in a mask, to be fair. Ah, he's in a mask. He's in a mask. He's in a mask. Let's see how many people are committing appropriate punctuation or are wearing face coverings. One over there. 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 To be fair, see, isn't it? That's fair enough. Hello, my thuggish friend. Why is it that you're threatening two women? Huh? Why is it you're threatening two women? It was very obvious. That's still very nice. Hey, Mr. Old Communist, sir. You can't touch women, man.
Hey, don't you touch her. Don't you touch her, mate.
Yeah, he's part of the resistance of touching women, the notorious pro-Palestinian march.
He can't be touching women.
Is he part of the resistance, guys? Harassing and touching women?
Can't touch women, mate.
Now, a good question would be, is a man who harasses women part of the resistance? I've got a question. Does the Intifada include men who harass and touch women?
Yallah, Intifada.
You can't touch me. Now, here's the question.
Yallah, Intifada.
That's very nice.
Let's go back home. Let's go back home.
Hey, an interesting question, guys. Does the Intifada include pieces of shit like that who touch women?
Do not speak to the media. Do not.
I'm not media.
Do not speak to
I'm not media.
Don't speak to them.
I'm Mr. Young Bobinson, concerned citizen of the United Kingdom. Does the Intifada include people who touch women? Is the Intifada include people who touch women? It's a fair question.
Hey, come over here.
Huh?
You said you're not media, are you?
No.
Stop antagonising people.
Pardon?
Stop antagonising people.
It's a question.
Yeah, no, but it's antagonising.
I appreciate that, but unless they say it's antagonising,
And I'm telling you, it's
Yep.
antagonising. Okay? I'm asking you to calm it down and watch what you ask me. Because you understand, when there's a protest,
Yep.
if you had the other side's argument,
Yeah.
and it was the other way round,
Yep.
would people get annoyed?
Depends. So for
But you can see the point.
well, I see the point, but
Yeah.
we're just questioning a chant, right? So, for
Yeah.
example, they called for an intifada. A gentleman over there was a part of that chant, and I just want to know whether that intifada calling for a revolution is incorporated into that man's actions there, which I think is a fair question.
To be honest, I'll be absolutely honest with you. I've no idea what you just said. I'm not intelligent enough, but all I know is in simple terms, there's a little bit of an issue.
Okay, I appreciate that. I'll stop.
Okay? Very good.
Just a quick question: how long do you think you would live in an intifada? Like, how long would you live under a Sharia state? Sorry, can I ask a question about the sign, please? I really don't think that would live very long. And most like Islamic states, man. Like I think Muhammad narrated a story that Allah told him, and it said that if a man was to dress up like a woman, he's a curse under God. So I don't know. Apartheid, discrimination, all these things could be said of a Jewish queer woman in Palestine. Just right beside me is a woman who has some sort of suicide wish because she believes that for some reason a queer woman can live in the state of Palestine. Now, obviously, a Palestinian queer man couldn't even live in Palestine, so I heavily doubt that she would be able to. I'm already in a good distance. You cannot push me. Pardon?
Did you push me?
Yes, because you pushed me.
Keep it moving.
Pardon?
Keep it moving.
You cannot dictate where I move. I'm staying here. Hello? Is that you keeping a distance?
Don't touch her. Don't touch her.
I'm not touching that. It's like crazy women. Crazy people. My goodness. That's very nice. That's very womanly like. Pardon? I mean, hey look, I'm not flipping off kids, so I don't know who's the rudest. Okay, you're intentionally coming close, so if you get closer and I have to push you preemptively, that's not my problem. It's not a conditional threat, it's just self-defense. Hello, officer. There she is again. For the second time. Again, if she comes in my space,
وصحيوني برا برا.
That's just very intentional, just like following me. Crazy woman. I know I'm very attractive, but there's no need to follow me.
You look like an incest.
I'm incest. Well, I'm not in religion that engages in that.
You look like you come from incest.
Well, at least I don't come from a culture that marries their cousins, so, you know. Who's more likely banging their cousin? Me or the culture that has sex with their cousins?
You're not entitled to do is cause a breach of the peace.
I literally was not saying anything to her.
Okay.
I understand what a breach of the peace is. I'm familiar with what that
What
means.
is breach of the peace?
So a breach of the peace, well, typically for me, in the understanding of protests, is whether a member of the public feels like that I'm causing them alarm and distress, which in this case I'm not. In fact, it's the other way round, in which I would suggest to you that you deal with the person who pushed me, started saying that I looked like I come out of incest. Then when I said to her, if she comes in my personal place and starts pushing me, I will either have to, out of an act of self-defense, push her or walk away, in which she might feel like I'm touching her. She then went to the police and said that I'm causing her alarm and distress.
I spoke to you earlier.
Yes.
And I don't know what happened. I didn't witness it.
Yep.
I can't fully comment. But all I know is from earlier on, you were antagonising the situation.
I wasn't.
had to talk to you. I saw it with my own eyes. Not there, I
But
didn't see
my
it.
understanding of antagonisation is that a member of the public would have to report that, though.
No, I could be the bludgeon.
No, that's not true. Most public order offences.
Enforced breach of peace. If they
Yeah.
feel harm is done or likely to be
Yeah,
done.
they
in
have to.
presence.
They have to.
No, I can feel likely to be done.
So you generally believe that police officers can feel alarm and distress and enact
That's
a
not what I
public
said,
order
is it?
offence?
I said a breach of the peace is committed when harm is done or likely to be done or in
Yep.
their presence. I don't have to be me, it could be someone else. Okay?
She kept coming back to him.
Okay, I'm not saying about that incident because I didn't witness it, but I'm saying earlier I witnessed you causing a breach of the peace. And again, we come to the same incident where
You
you're
can't
getting
comment
fired.
on that. You can't use it.
Okay, so I'm going to advise you to keep. You can film. I can't stop you filming. You'll know that. Okay, but watch what you speak to people. Watch what you're saying because you can.
I wasn't saying anything to her.
Okay, I'm not going to comment on that. Watch your
But you
behaviour.
just used it.
No, I'm saying I dealt with you earlier from my own eyes. I saw you getting a breach of the peace. I've then come across an incident which I didn't witness, but it's involved you again.
Yep.
Okay, so there's a pattern of behaviour here, I believe.
Well, it can't be a pattern of behaviour if you can't use the second attempt.
Rein it in, okay, because you're getting yourself in trouble. Okay.
Okay, and I believe I'm not going to.
Arrest him.
How long is it going to last?
There is no genocide. There is no famine. Free Gaza from Hamas. You terrorist scum. Terrorist supporting scum. All of you.
You're the terrorist. You're the Nazi.
You just called me a Nazi. She just called me a Nazi.
Your breath is a terror.
Just called me a Nazi. She just called me a Nazi.
Typical Zayos. You want to have a chat with her?
Probably not. Very noisy.
I can't hear you.
Well, I'm old. I'm very old. I can hear you. Can we try and have a chat here?
No, so she said it's very loud, it's very noisy, and obviously it's opposing
really
to you, so
loud.
there's a risk of breach of the peace. Okay?
There's a risk of breaching the
I'm not
peace, and
saying-
this lot here are going to attack me.
I'm
Is that
not
what you're
saying
saying?
it's you, I'm saying there's a
Okay, I'll take it.
risk. But I'm trying to minimise the risk and move you away so we can talk about the issue. You can come back after the talk if you
Okay.
think fit, okay? Let's go and talk, okay? Or discuss what the plan is.
My plan's just to stand on the streets of London like I am.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that, is there?
Yeah, no, that's fine, we talk over there.
Talk to me somewhere quieter because they can't hear. I'm a bit reluctant to go because I don't think they'll let me back. Huh?
Can I ask you a question,
Yes.
please? Is that all right?
Yeah.
I'd just like to know where it is that you get your news from.
Where do I get my news from?
I'm just curious as to where it is that you get your news from about the war in Gaza.
Loads of different channels.
Okay, such as?
I'm not going to name any. It's obvious, isn't it?
Okay, and what credence do you think you can put in news that's propagated on social media in Gaza close to the reality?
Me?
Yeah.
Let the shirt speak for me, okay?
Okay.
Okay? We need to get the terrorists out of Gaza.
Okay, here's a question. How would you feel being on the ground in the same position as civilians caught in between? How do you think it would feel?
He's on his own now. I mean, these are very, very loaded questions, aren't they?
I'm just asking,
deliberately so.
No, I'm just asking about your compassion.
I would say, how would you feel being at the Nova Music Festival and being in a kibbutz and watching your wife raped whilst your baby was cooked in an oven? Where do you get your news from?
And of course I have compassion.
Indeed, of course. So don't we all?
Absolutely, yeah.
Exactly. Thank you for asking the question.
Thank you.
Sorry,
Just down the paper so we get the vehicles through.
Is that all right? Yeah.
So I just want to get the vehicle through.
Free Gaza from Hamas! 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 Free Gaza from Hamas!
Fuck you, Israel! Fuck you, Israel!
Fuck you, Israel!
Fuck you, Israel!
Settlers, go back home!
Settlers, go back home!
Palestine is not your home!
Palestine is not your home!
Settlers, go back home!
Settlers, go back home!
Palestine is not your home!
Palestine is not your home!
There is only one!
It's like colonels for KFC here. I don't think like queer Jewish women ever will survive in Palestine, let alone Palestinian queers.
We want these silent!
Very small minority of Jewish queer ones. I mean, you could be pretty happily queer in Israel.
We want these silent!
Just a suggestion.
Stop the bombing now!